Hey guys, Attorney Walter Knott here. I just wanted to go through something real quick, and I think it's incredibly important that you understand what's going on. There is a mega, and I mean Supreme Court level lawsuit going on that no one is really covering right now on the Social Security Disability Advocate forums, blogs, websites, whatever you want to call them. The bottom line is this: there is a giant Supreme Court case that is deciding whether or not Puerto Ricans who live in Puerto Rico can go ahead and receive SSI benefits. Originally, when Puerto Rico negotiated its standing with the United States, it did not successfully negotiate the inclusion of the SSI program in essentially how they would use their tax money, etc. So Puerto Ricans got left out. They can get SSDI, no problem. SSI, huge problem. Nanny Anderson, howdy, 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 howdy. We're going to be covering the Biden administration will continue to fight Puerto Rican men at Supreme Court over disability payments. Now, Puerto Rico is a territory. It is a possession of the United States. A lot of people at this point think of it as like a state. The bottom line is there are territories, there are possessions of the United States that are allowed to have and do have SSI benefits. Puerto Rico is not one of them. Howdy, guys. Howdy, Linda Soto. Howdy, RB. So let's talk about this real quick. John Fritz, USA Today. This is an older article, but I'm going to go through another article from the ABA, specifically after that was written in September. Okay, so here we go. Barbara Maddox. Howdy, howdy. Biden administration will continue to fight Puerto Rican men at Supreme Court over disability payments. Remember, this is all about SSI. Washington, President Joe Biden said Monday his administration will continue to argue at the Supreme Court that Puerto Ricans are not entitled to Social Security disability payments, even though the position is inconsistent with my administration's policies and values. His quote, even though the position of his administration is to support Puerto Ricans, for this particular case, it's inconsistent that he doesn't want Puerto Ricans to have SSI with my administration's policies and values. What the hell is going on with this? Right? I mean, like, come on. In an unusual, they'll just call him out on this. Literally, the USA Today just called President Biden out on this. In an unusual statement issued by the White House, Biden said his administration would continue to pursue the case because the Justice Department has a longstanding practice of defending the constitutionality of federal statutes, regardless of policy preferences. That's not that longstanding. When a new president goes in, things change for the direction of that president. When Congress created the Supplemental Security Income Program in 1972, Nixon, it made it available to residents in the 50 states and the District of Columbia. There are also the islands above Hawaii, but not in Puerto Rico and other U.S. territories, even though Puerto Ricans are U.S. citizens. More, Supreme Court to hear case on FBI surveillance of Muslims following 9/11. More, Biden names new judges with emphasis on diversity. More, yes, Puerto Rico is part of the United States. Biden, who campaigned on expanding benefits to the island, he campaigned on it. He said he wanted to do it. And now he's saying, I don't think we're going to support Puerto Ricans. Right? That's what he's saying now. He's saying de facto, bottom line, that he's just not going to do it. Biden, who campaigned on expanding benefits to the island, Puerto Rico, was pressured to drop the case, which had been appealed under President Donald Trump's administration. The government estimates extending the program to U.S. territories would cost between $1.8 billion and $2.4 billion per year. Here's what they're afraid of: the different islands in the Pacific Ocean, the territories, U.S. Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, etc. They're worried that those places will become a welfare-based state, promoted and made through SSI. If you look at Hawaii, a lot of people don't know, but many Hawaiians, like natural Hawaiians, are on the disability programs. A significant number, like not just a little number, a significant number. So they're worried that if they do this, a lot of those territories will have welfare states in the sense of SSI. And I read that in another article that was something they feared, of creating people who weren't going to work. They were just going to be able to utilize SSI. Now, some of these other territories have a program like SSI. It's not as good as SSI, but they have a program like it. Let's keep reading through. The case began with Jose Luis Bueno Madero, who qualified for the program while living in New York, but who moved to Puerto Rico in 2013. 3 years later, the Social Security Administration discovered he had relocated out of the United States, discontinued his SSI checks, and sued him for the $28,081 to recover the payments made in the intervening years. Madero won in district court, and the Boston-based U.S. Court of Appeals for the First Circuit held that denying otherwise eligible people benefits from the program only because of their status as Puerto Ricans violated the Fifth Amendment's Equal Protection Clause because they're U.S. citizens. Because they're U.S. citizens. The government appealed to the Supreme Court in September. More than 8 million individuals receive SSI payments, and the average monthly benefit is around $575, according to court records. Low-income residents who are older than 65 and who are disabled can qualify for the program. As I have stated, this is a quote. I don't know who the quote is from. It's probably Biden. I believe that Puerto Rico residents should be able to receive SSI benefits just like their fellow Americans in all 50 states and Washington, D.C. Biden said in a statement, so Biden said that. As I've said before, there can be no second-class citizens in the United States of America. That's what Biden said. But Biden also said Puerto Ricans are not entitled to Social Security disability payments, even though the position is inconsistent with my administration's policies and values. What is going on? Why can't they just do what they said they were going to do? I have a theory. The theory is that they tell us things, they don't deliver. We somehow forgive them and we vote them back in. Or the entire system is rigged. You choose. You know, the earth is either a round globe or it's flat. It's one or the other. Anyways, guys, or it's both. You know, at this point, it's probably both. But the point is this: you know, it's funny because it's like every time, yeah, it's rigged, and it's basically them just us forgiving them. It's terrible. I think. How are you looking for a client? I've got tons and tons of claimants. Give the law firm a call between 9 and 5 tomorrow. We can always catch up with you. So here's what I think. Here is my thought pattern on this. Trump does not support the disabled. He's not a huge fan of the retired program. Biden was never a force of nature for Social Security benefits. He was against it. He voted against Social Security, and everything he's done so far has been anti-Social Security. There's nobody lined up to be president who supports Social Security benefits. Kamala has shown zero interest in doing anything about it. If the Democrats lose the majority in the House and the Senate, we're not going to see anything passing. Click through whatever YouTube news cycle you want. You're not going to be seeing anything passing. It's just not going to. I wanted to showcase this because I think it's interesting how we don't allow these so-called possessions that are American citizens, but because they live in a place that's not America on paper, how we restrict their ability to get SSI. We're okay with them paying into the system and getting SSDI, but we don't want to support them if they've never worked and paid taxes, or worked not enough and paid taxes. So I guess that's a big thing. Pamela Parker, yeah, just give me a call 9 to 5 tomorrow. That's when we do the like this YouTube channel is not my real job. This is just where I get frustrated and scream at the government for not doing what they said they were going to do. But the bottom line, and I use it as obviously an instructional where I teach people about disability law, statutes, you know, tough questions, ALJs, administrative law judges, all that stuff. So the bottom line is this, and this is incredibly important. I would like you guys to start to realize that the current political administration The prior political administration and the prior one before that, none of them, even Obama, did not support the disabled in a fashion that they should have been disabled or the retired. I don't think we really are prepared to even show people what we want to give them. Just think about that for a moment. I don't think we are prepared. We don't know what are essentially all the things that we want to demand from the government. We have two SSI Restoration Act, Social Security 2100. We have two main bills, but even those need a lot of work. Even those need still a lot of changes. I don't think we're prepared to even go to Congress right now as a disabled population and as attorneys that represent them. I don't think we're prepared with what our demands are going to be. Maybe that's what the new nonprofit should also be about, not just directing votes, but figuring out what we should be giving to the disabled and putting together a package, creating a bill, and then giving it to the Congress men and women who are going to push it through. I don't think we're prepared. I think that's the reality of it. Guys, I'm going to catch you a little bit later. We're going to be doing one more video tonight, and then I have to go to bed because I have to wake up at 7 a.m. and I actually go work at a homeless facility on Wednesdays to help the homeless from 9 to 12. I will catch you a little bit later. Please remember, I'm not as good as I normally am because I'm dying from really, really bad poison ivy. I will catch you a little bit later. Have an absolutely wonderful day and or night. And the next video will specifically be about, hold on, let me find it real quick. This one. So the next video is going to be about literally how President Biden is now trying to figure out a way to give COVID patients disability funds, which is in direct violation of the 12-month rule, but we'll do a video on it. Guys, I will catch you a little bit later. Have a wonderful night. We'll go from there. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.